welcome to Sam's on Wrestling. Wow, what a deep, powerful, booming
I
voice I
know,
have.
where did that come from?
I think I've slept well.
Apparently. You never sleep well.
No, I think maybe editing till 2 in the morning
Ah.
has led me to believe that I have this. I'm going to cash in on this voice. Hello! It's clever. There you go. I made it work. Hello and welcome to Sam's on Wrestling. And this is our Yay or Nay series. Essentially, it is a series where we give the pros and cons. It's a pro and con series of a particular thing. It could be a thing, a wrestler, a trope, and we're going to see the positives and the negatives of it. I am joined by the babyest of all the baby Sams. It's Baby Sam!
Hello, I'm so young I think that Money in the Bank briefcases are lunchboxes.
Well, it was.
Well, for Otis.
Once it was an actual lunchbox.
Yeah.
You know, okay, I will give you many points. I'll actually get you back into Sam versus Sam.
Right.
If you can tell me what type of briefcase they use. That's how young you are. The fact that you're not like, a briefcase is a briefcase?
It is, and I'll tell you, Sam, just while I Google.
Sounds like a fish.
A fish?
Yes, a type of fish.
A type of fish?
Yeah.
So,
it's a halibutton.
Halliburton.
That's the name of the briefcase.
You could have given me 50 years.
Yes,
Sam,
I know.
would have guessed
That's why I cut it off. That's why I cut it very quickly
Yeah.
off. And that is what we're going to yay and nay. We're not doing yay and nay the Money in the Bank match. We're going to yay and nay the cash-ins. Because we've been talking about them a lot, and quite frankly, we're sick of them. Yeah, we are sick of them. But we'll get into why we are sick of them during the video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And Sam, would you like to kick us off with some positives about a cash-in? Let's start with a yay. Give me a yay.
Oh, it's the drama. It's bloody beautiful. It is a very dramatic narrative kind of device to use. It comes out of nowhere, usually, which we'll get on to later. But it's always dramatic, and it always gets a response from the fans. It's always a big deal.
Yeah, that drama that gets created when someone's coming down the aisle or coming down the ramp, or whatever they've decided to do. Would be really interesting if they did it in something even more like, I'll get into that in a minute actually, because I've got gimmick ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe we should fantasy book a cash-in.
We should, yes.
Definitely.
We should each, like one each.
Well, fancy book, how about we'll fancy book a cash-in, I like it. But like, the idea that someone's about to cash in because you know something big is about to happen, irregardless if it lasts 2 seconds to 2 minutes, you know something's about to happen, and I think that's good. And I'll throw one that's actually practically the same, but it's slightly different. There's an expectation. There's a buzz. Someone is down, or a champion, or they've been the champion for a while, or there's even a little storyline. You're there going, you're going to cash in. When are you going to cash in? When are you going to do it? Think about Tiffany Stratton. When it was done relatively well, you were there going, when are you going to do it on Nia? Are you going to do it? And everyone starts speculating. Are you going to do it in the middle of War Games, which would have been more interesting? Don't know why we didn't do that one instead of just randomly on SmackDown for no reason. Hey! But whatever. And that expectation, that buzz, creates that level of excitement. I absolutely agree. Yeah, I that's what it should be at all times. But it's not.
No.
Sam, can I give the first negative?
You sure?
It is tired.
Oh, yeah.
It is tired because it is repetitive. I'm going to have them both. I'll put tired/repetitive as our nay here. It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. They're very rarely different. Like the fact that Tips is like minutely different and we give it praise. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that's what, every time it's champion is down, person comes down, wins the world title. That's boring now. And that is so dull. Do something different. It's just the tired repetitiveness of it. And I'll throw in a third word. Bugger it. Lazy.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon in particular is lazy. I think Triple H has done some slight differences with it, but we're talking like if Vince is booking at a 2 out of 10 level for the cash-in, Triple H has gone to a 3. Like, it's not as exciting. Io Sky's was boring. You know, Tiffany's was okay. Damian Priest, is it WrestleMania? It was great. Still the same premise. It was just at WrestleMania and fed into one of the best storylines. It was like Damian Priest got the rub from Punk and McIntyre.
The stuff that happened around the cash-in was great, but the cash-in was just the cash-in.
Yeah.
But Drew's was good. I like Drew's, the way they used Drew's.
Yeah, I do like Drew's as well, but it's still the same principle of someone adding themselves to the match. You know,
but
same night. We've been through that as well. Do you see what I mean? So there's like, it still wasn't new. We've had people add to triple threats already. We've had people do it on the same night. you know, come on.
The problems we've got is they've used it every year since 2005. So if you use it every year for 20 years, it's going to naturally get stale no matter what you do. And now they've got 2 a year. So
to be fair, they've had 2 a year for a while, but for a very small period.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's natural that it's going to get stale. And it's not like the Rumble, because the Rumble is one match there and done. Mm-hmm. The cash-in always has to be booked in a different way, ideally. So I think that they could do with either alternating Money in the Bank between King of the Ring, or maybe alternating, okay, the men have it this year, the women have it this year.
I think the alternating between men and women is way better, because I would do the same with King of the Ring, because the King of the Ring tournament is meant to be, can you survive the night? Not, can you win a tournament? Yeah. They're not a tournament. It is a tournament over one night. There might be some qualifying matches to get to the quarters, and then it's one night. And I think only having one match at King of the Ring for King of the Ring makes no sense. So I would have the King of the Ring one year, the next year Queen. And this is the problem we've now got when we go for the whole equality thing. You've actually now overstacked it. And I'm like, no, let's go for the equality. Women get the Money in the Bank this year, men get the King of the Ring, and then you swap it for the year after. And they can have that real highlight. It could be about them that year. Because sometimes one gets more highlight than the other. As for example, this year, Drew McIntyre's was get rid of the briefcase. We're doing Tiff has the storyline this year. Get rid of Drew's briefcase. Go, 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 go. And the other year, it was the other way around. EO's was get rid of that as quickly as we can. Damian Priest has got the story. And that's what it is. And it has always been every single year.
I've just had an idea for a booking for the briefcases. So, if you did have 2 briefcase holders at once, and say they were both baby faces, they could both cash in a mixed tag against two champions.
Again, it's something
and
different.
then you have a mixed tag match for both championships.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You just literally, why don't they just have a long list and going, and let's come up with as many different ideas as you can. Even ideas within the boring and lazy. For example, let's say there was, you want to do the cash in on the person who was like down and out. Why not they get involved in an Anywhere Falls match and they end up pinning them in the middle of the street?
I said this, it'd be great because it is anytime, any place.
Yeah.
So you attack them backstage. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, well, they just won the title backstage. It makes it a
hardcore match.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to see this contract. I need to see this contract, because if the briefcase itself is the contract, that's not legally binding.
Well, no, obviously it has the contract in.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
According to Sheamus, it has ham sandwiches. That's all that was inside.
Sheamus is spreading misinformation. Don't trust Sheamus.
But that's the thing, the tired, repetitive laziness of it is just too much problem. And we've talked about it before, and I'll mention it now because it is the cash-in one. Edge doing the cash-in in 05 into 06 is still the best thing you can do with this. The whole taking it when the champion's down is the best thing you can do with this. But because he did it first, the first time they did anything, they didn't even explore the normal, the basics of guy wants to cash in on the champion, guy wants to take him on at WrestleMania, guy wants to win at SummerSlam. The basic things you would do with number one contenders matches, because they did the best thing you can possibly do. And they're like, we probably should do this every year. Yeah. That was the issue. So let's have some more positives. Let's be positive about the cash in.
Yeah, the fact is it always gets heat. Always, I think, especially on
great
the
heel heat. I've got that on here. Great
when
heel
it's
heat.
done well, it is fantastic. It turned Punk heel in 09. It was fantastic. When you do it right, and it's a bit more organic, it gets really good heat. And I could even say, babyface wise, it can also get them good babyface heat, if that's a word. Like Big E winning, I know you didn't like that.
Didn't like it.
But still, you can't deny the crowd reaction at the time.
No. All right then. I'm going to complete bang a flip and make this into a nay then, based on what you've just said.
Sure.
This is going to be the biggest nay I'm going to have here. The fans have been conditioned that cash-ins are good. Because, and here's what I'm going to say, right? As the live crowd, you get the moment. It's the golden buzzer of Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Or any Got Talent, because they've all got a golden buzzer. In the crowd, you're like, yeah, gold buzzer. But at home, you're like, oh, well, they're going to go through. I get gold buzzer. It doesn't mean as much. We talk about this with AEW a lot. You can do a high spot all you want. But if you see the high spot every single week on TV, it's boring. But in the crowd, you see the high spot because you get to see it live. It's amazing. So you're like, they popped for Big E. Of course they're going to. They love Big E, and they got to see a cash-in. They're the selected crowd. But not really. They're the selected crowd who gets to see the cash-in. So they're going to react because they get to see it. It's a special moment for them. But on TV every week, every year, it's the same thing. And I'm like going, Big E as a babyface shouldn't be taking on a downed Lashley. He should be doing something different. And that's why I don't like it, because they're always going to pop Sam. It's a cash in.
This is the yay though.
Yeah.
They will pretty much always pop. And like
that's why I'm going in.
Yeah.
It's a nay because we've now created an expectation with it, and the things have been conditioned with it. And what I mean by conditioned is the fact that now the minute somebody wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, everyone's there going, right, that's the champion then. It's like an expectation they're going to be the champion. When Drew failed to cash in, which is one of the most interesting things they've done with it, someone failing because of a storyline, they went, you've wasted the Money in the Bank. You went, what do you mean wasted? Oh, because you're conditioned that whoever wins becomes champion. And you, in your mind, think the champion has to always come. So you're booking, whenever you book who wants to win the Money in the Bank, you're booking who you want to be the next champion. And then you're upset that they don't become champion. It's really annoying. The Money in the Bank, you're not meant to be guaranteed a winner. It's not meant to be guaranteed. You're meant to lose. You're meant to fail sometimes because champions are meant to outsmart you, which is what happened. Or you've got a storyline going on. And we've been conditioned so much that who do I want to win the Money in the Bank? It's who I want to be champion. Oh, great. That person's won. They're going to be champion guaranteed. And that was the thing. For a long time, they were guaranteed to be champion. And it's the same when you kind of win the Royal Rumble as well. They're guaranteed to be champion.
Actually, also, you just made me think of a nay that I hadn't got on my list, actually. It does back them into a corner because, say you're having a champion that's got a multi-year reign like Roman did.
Yeah.
Then you've got, we've got to deal with the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Or, if that Money in the Bank money is just not part of your story, it books you into a corner of going, right, if we have them win, then we kind of ruin this big storyline that we're doing over here and might need to flip-flop the title.
Because we're expected that they're always going to win.
But then you go, well, if they don't win, then this is one with a lot of momentum, and if they lose the cash in, then that could really kill their momentum. Think The Miz, so I know they had him maybe win the Money in the Bank maybe too soon in your opinion.
Yeah,
which
I think it was too soon.
But then you could go, well, if you'd had Randy Orton go and beat him in the cash in, that would really hurt Miz at the time.
Yeah.
So you kind of, it's a lose-lose in many ways. You've either got to have Miz win it, and then you kind of just yo-yo it back to Orton, which is pretty rubbish, or you have him actually main event Mania, which was kind of rubbish, or you have Miz lose, which is pretty rubbish, and then you've really hurt a rising star.
You've nailed it into booking into corner. That is a massive nail. They get booked into a corner. So book someone you know you can lose.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you have title reigns going on and you're like, let's say when Roman Reigns has a title reign, you booked it for Austin Theory, have him lose. Austin Theory could take a loss to Roman Reigns. No one's sat there going, "No, you've ruined Austin Theory there." People are allowed to lose, and this is the problem with the Money in the Bank. Everyone just the expectation that whoever wins it becomes champion, and that's it. And I am sick of the idea that they just it's been wasted because this person didn't win it, or this person got it. Oh, do we want them to be champion? There's no thought process that they might lose, that they might not succeed. And the problem is because they majority of the times name all the people who failed.
So you got Cena, Sandow, McIntyre, Corbin, Strowman. That was terrible. So that's 5. And then who else have you got?
Every woman has succeeded.
Have they?
Every woman has succeeded.
I couldn't think of any.
I think you've named the 5.
Oh no, just because you didn't know.
No, because Miz cashed in. Same for Kennedy.
I think that's it.
So 20 years, and we have double. A lot of the time. So we did a Money in the Bank, so there was 32. Plus there's obviously now going to be 2 more.
Yeah.
That's 34. So 32 cash-ins have happened. 5 unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Let's say 6. We might have missed one.
Yeah.
But that's bad.
Yeah.
That's why we're conditioned to believe they're always going to succeed. Because now that you cash in on a person who's down, they should succeed. Why would you not?
Yeah.
And that's actually the main problem with this. With the way Edge's cash-in happened. It's a problem. But let's talk about some of the positives. Even within that terrible booking, it elevates a new talent immediately.
Yeah.
In the same way that this is why I think you should give someone King of the Ring. Now you've got King of the Ring, elevate your talent via King of the Ring, because you don't need, the Royal Rumble, the problem we ran into a long time is you need to get to the main event of WrestleMania. But they didn't want to have the same people win because they had we're going to have Cena in the main event this year, and we're going to have Triple H in the main event this year, and so you didn't want them winning.
Yeah.
So they're like, no. But then I'm sat there Stone Cold won it. 2001, The Rock 2000, Stone Cold 98, Stone Cold 97.
Hey, Vince 99.
And that was the problem. They went with the Royal Rumble. They went, can't Stone Cold win it again? But that's the main event. And that's the problem when you have a thing be the thing every single year. Yeah. King of the Ring, if that becomes the one that always goes to SummerSlam, you've got to sit there and go, who do we want to be in the match at SummerSlam? And if it's the same person as the year before, can you have them win King of the Ring? You backed yourself into.
I had a little interesting. I was thinking about this last night. Actually, weirdly, I was thinking you could have King of the Ring because I was thinking the Elimination Chamber. You can't have it any other time of the year because it's always the February thing before Mania. I thought, why not have occasionally King of the Ring before Mania, and that's the tournament to decide who gets to face the other champion at Mania. So you could use it for Mania as well, I think.
Well, I'm sick of the Elimination Chamber not being used for title matches.
Yeah.
I like the person having to defend it against 5 people, but at the same time, it doesn't make any sense for them to have to defend it against 5 people, technically, outside.
Life's hard.
Yeah, no, that's essentially what it is. It's like, we're going to make it difficult for you for no reason whatsoever. I'll give it a positive just in a general thing. It is the best new thing WWE have done for a long time. Like, what have they done new? Let's say the Elimination Chamber 2002 was the best new thing they've done. And then Money Back Team in 05, what have they done since? They've got that Iron Man thing on NXT.
Yeah, I kind of like that, but it's fine.
What else have they done that's new and exciting?
It's a very valid point. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's new, because the only thing people could claim is War Games, but lads, that's been going since the 80s.
It's not new. It's just Triple H has used it.
That's the only thing Devil's Advocate you could try and say. So, no, I'd agree with that. So it's great. It's a great invention. I just wish they took more risks with new stipulations, because they haven't done it.
So let's just throw in an A just to put the full stop on it then. So many fun ideas wasted.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's just put it as a sentence. We don't need to go into them, because literally every single person can come up with a cash-in idea. And if you've watched a couple of months ago, good grief, when we were talking about... before the Elimination Chamber and everything happened in WrestleMania and stuff, Sam did like his storylines for Cody Rhodes versus The Rock. It was a lot. And your thing was, the briefcase is right up, and no one knows who's got the briefcase, and then CM Punk comes out with the briefcase 5 months later. And even though that's nonsense and people will moan, it's different and will be remembered.
I thought that was a good little booking.
Sometimes bad, contentious, controversial, good, whatever it is, needs to happen so that people can go, we've done that once.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You need to say things have been done once, and there's so many fun ideas you could do that they just haven't tried.
Also, the idea that they've never had a champion simultaneously hold the briefcase is such a waste to me.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine if Gunther did it.
Again, champion and briefcase, they could lose the title and just immediately win it back.
Yeah.
How great would that be? Such heel heat.
Oh, you know what? That'd be perfect for Charlotte Flair.
It would.
I did have the briefcase. This is an A. It's often a great way for Charlotte Flair to start pad more title reigns. Because she does.
If anyone has never noticed this, and I'm sure they have because I've mentioned it a lot, Charlotte Flair has been cashed in on 3 times, and she was the one who won the title back all 3 times. Carmella did it to her. She beat Carmella at SummerSlam. And then you've got
Bayley.
Bayley did it to her. She was the one who beat Bayley. And then the final one was Nikki ASH. She won it back off Nikki ASH. And you're like, lads, stop giving Charlotte Flair may be one of the worst multi-time champions of all time. And that sucks for probably the best female worker of all time. Because she arguably is the best female. In ring is what I'm talking about. That's why I said the word worker.
No, I know.
But she's got like 70,000 title reigns. And you're like, how many of them are actually different?
How many of them lasted more than 3 weeks?
Sasha Banks, they flip-flopped the title 4 times. It was like, guys,
ridiculous.
Stop it. But we're talking about cash-ins. I'm amazed she's not won the Money in the Bank, to be honest. Do you know what the worst thing is? Money in the Bank's just gone by, and we're recording this just before the Money in the Bank, I'll point out. So we're like, you don't know who's won the Money in the Bank briefcase. It's like, is it Charlotte Flair? Who knows? Is she even in the match? We don't know. I will add some more positives, because I think we're going to have more negatives. Let's talk about the fact that it can add to a story. When you do it correctly, as with the Tiff and Nia thing, that was really good. I don't think the cash-in itself was particularly great, but I think the idea that Nia was always like, are you going to cash in on that? Are you going to do it? I actually think they missed the boat, actually, by not having it in War Games. I actually think that would have been way better, because they could have had the pin, she walks out, and then suddenly her team are down, and down even more, and then the War Games, because I think War Games sucks as well. So if you want to see my views on War Games, see our controversial take on War Games about 8 months ago. I'll put it up here in one of the cards on the screen. But, like, that would have been more interesting than her just randomly attacking her when she was on the... Because it felt like it came out of nowhere. It was like... Because it felt more heel, like Tiff had been planning the entire time. You're like, that's a weird thing to do. But that was at least different. And it created that storyline dynamic. It also added to the CM Punk one with Drew McIntyre. But for years and years and years, the briefcase holder was just this floating character. For ages. Not involved, not creating a storyline dynamic. The Strowman coming down with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in their match at SummerSlam, and Strowman going, I'm going to cash in at the end of this. That's storyline, that's interesting. And I really like when they can add storyline dynamic. Why would you not have storyline dynamic with the person who's got the briefcase.
Oh, because there's so many unlimited possibilities.
Literally.
And it's like when you give a character that power, you find out more about a character.
Yes.
So, you can really make it unique to that character.
Like when Punk turned heel, why are people not becoming deranged with it? You know, we're just coming up with so many ideas you could do that are so simple, and you go, "That's not a great idea." You're right. Deranged is not a great idea, but it's been 20 years and not one person has gone deranged with it. I've also said it can create a year-long dynamic as well. Like if you've got a whole year, why? Again, if you want us, we're going to keep throwing out storylines. Apparently, we're going to keep booking it. Why has no one failed constantly trying to cash in, but not actually officially cashed in? And it's gone all the way to the final day.
Yeah.
Why has no one cashed in on the Money in the Bank? At the end. Because here's the thing I've got. You've got two storylines. One, someone panicking because they keep failing and they're going to run out of time and they've got no choice but to cash in at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view the year afterwards. That's also really exciting. Could you imagine that? They actually have to have a match.
Yeah.
They can't cash in because okay, Money in the Bank then. I've had this for a year. Or, how about this? They've had it for a year, they keep failing or they keep struggling. They then cash in at Money in the Bank. And then the new Money in the Bank person cashes in on them.
But
how about
surely
that?
their briefcase would have expired if the new...
No, because it's on the same day. It's on the same day.
I'm sure you could book your way around it.
Yeah, but you see what I mean? We have one whole year, so it'd be Money in the Bank to Money in the Bank. It expires at the end of Money in the Bank the next year.
Okay.
And then literally, could you imagine? I cash in on you. Oh, I've finally done it. And then you get attacked and cashed in on... That would be great. And then you create the storyline between the two. It'd be brilliant. It'd be great, because that would be a good babyface thing to do.
It would, definitely.
So, go on then, Sam. I think we've got a lot of nays. Let's do some nays.
Okay. Well, to be fair, I think we've covered vaguely most of it. Again, when a babyface does the opportunity to cash in, it doesn't make them look good.
Yes, I have babyface doing it makes no sense when they do it. And by the way, when we say cash in, let's be honest, we're talking about they're down. Because that's what 95% of them have been. Like, only 4 people have cashed in advance, I think.
Yeah, not many.
3 have added to the match, and the rest have cashed in when the person's down.
Yeah.
That's it. And babyfaces shouldn't be, outside of a really dastardly heel that they're vanquishing. So, for example, the only one in my head that I think works is CM Punk taking it off Edge. Because Edge have been bragging that he's going to SmackDown with the world title. There'll be no world title on Raw. If they'd have led into Punk doing that and being like the saviour of Raw or something like that, that'd have been really good. They didn't want to do that.
Can't possibly book Punk's run.
Take this briefcase, we don't actually want it. And then that would have been really, really interesting, but they didn't do it. But the babyface shouldn't do it on a downed person. It's not a babyface thing to do.
Unless it's like they're rivalry with that person that's champion. It's like a revenge thing,
That's what I'm saying. It's like avenging a heel.
Well, I always thought, why can't you have... So you could have the briefcase holder get a kayfabe injury and then have them out for ages so that when they return, after 6 or 7 months, they're cashing in. So not only are they back, they're now the champion.
You literally, when I said we were going to book a cash in, you just took my booking.
Have I? Yeah. I'm so sorry, Sam.
That's exactly. I'm gonna have to do something else now. That's exactly what I would do. Is the return with a injure them, go have a 3-month holiday and come back.
Or if they're a heel, they could just go. I've got the briefcase. I don't need to wrestle. I'm gonna go home, and when I come back and return, it'll be at the right moment, and I'll win the championship.
Why isn't the babyface also going? My dream is to be at WrestleMania. Hand it over to Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis, Triple H, Vince McMahon, and go. At the same time, all in a room, stare each of them down and go, I'll see you at WrestleMania, and just walk off. I don't understand why no one has had a match in the main event at WrestleMania. Just go, this is bigger than the Royal Rumble, and just do that.
Yeah.
Your Royal Rumble can have night 1, I've got night 2. Yeah. Anything.
Because sometimes you just got to think, right, if you were kayfabe really that character in that real world, what would you do? And I think we might do that if we were good wrestlers. Maybe if I was the ability that I am now, maybe I'd take an opportunistic one and just go, yes, I'm the champion for 5 days, like the Miz did. But I think.
But you know what? I'm gonna throw that nay as well. Are we happy with these title changes? Are we, we complain about WCW flip-flopping the title in the way they do it in these random 5-minute matches and then the next week someone else wins. I'm like, are you happy that someone has been champion? The amount of people who have been champion for a day and under? Big Show was champion for 100 seconds. Are you happy that that's part of the world title lineage? You happy with that?
Thrilled.
Are you happy with Drew McIntyre has a 5-minute title reign? I hate that we have a sea of WWE and world title reigns that are nothing. That literally, if you want stat padding, I'm a 6... Dolph Ziggler is a 2-time world champion and none of his titles mean anything. He's got a cheap cash-in, and he had the title for 11 minutes that he randomly lost to Edge, which was not even cash-in related. And you're there going, oh yeah, when we do Dolph Ziggler on the power rankings, does he have to go into the main event because he's won 2 world titles? Yeah. But he never main evented a pay-per-view outside of that was for the IC title because they didn't have a world title.
Survivor Series
so
2014.
Doesn't count because that's a multi-man. So technically, he can't be in the main event because he's never even main evented a pay-per-view for the... He's not.
You've got to put him in there.
No, I refuse. He's a mid-carder who's had 2 fake world title reigns.
So it's all fake if we're going to go there.
Yeah, well, fake within kayfabe. And this is the problem. Are we happy? Are you generally happy with the amount of people who've got some people that have got Roman Reigns, a historic title reign, and you've got Big Show over there with his 100-second title reign.
No, I know, but I think there's no problem if it's in moderation. So if you've got a few title reigns like that.
It's not.
No, I know. But say Bryan's was a few minutes, but that's like a good thing because he was robbed as a babyface and that, and had the authority kind of make fun of that kind of thing and use it. But I think it's very overdone. Like, so you've had Seth, you've had Big Show, you've had Drew, you've had
Charlotte.
Charlotte bazillion times. You must have had a lot.
There's loads.
There's a lot.
That's a lot, and this is that leads me on to the next one. Like, are we happy that the world title has changed hands this way? This thing that's meant to be super important. It's one of the good things that Triple H has done is he's made the world title really important. Even he's done a 5-minute cash-in and stuff. And the idea that the world title and the women's world title as well is meant to be sacred. And you're meant to earn the right to get there, and you've deserved it. Do you really think that beating someone when they're down, and I'm going to throw one extra one here, with one move a lot of the time, do you really think one move, like Damian Priest hits a south of heaven, and he's world champion? You're like, really? Do you really? And this is the problem I have. We're all happy with the moment. And again, we're all conditioned to go, yay! I'm sat there going, Damian Priest hits one move and gets to be world champion. Like, wouldn't it have been better if Damian Priest had won the title properly and had a better moment? Did he really get the recognition? And I think he was always fighting an uphill battle as world champion. And I think so many of these people who win their first world champion, let's name all the people who won their first world title via the Money in the Bank. This is their first.
Yeah. So RVD.
Yep. RVD's was, fake cash-ins. RVD was a proper
No, I know, but it was.
Yeah, no, I know, but RVD's doesn't count in terms of the point I'm making. Gotcha. I apologise. People who cashed in, well, RVD. Yeah. So Punk failed.
Yeah.
Went downhill.
Swagger
failed.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, well, Swagger.
Miz.
Miz.
Everyone hated it, even though they at least tried.
They did give him a decent little reign.
Technically, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Failed.
Yeah. You had technically Del Rio's first.
Failed.
Was it? Yeah, it was his first. Yeah.
Failed.
Bryan.
Failed.
I liked
failed
his reign until Mania.
Yeah.
Up until Mania.
Good heel turn. Well, that's the thing. There you go. Had a heel turn. That's what really helped that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The heel turn dynamic. So we've got kind of like 5-1 or something like that now.
So who else have we got?
Think of the women.
Go the distance.
Think of the women. Nikki ASH.
I mean, all the people were supposed to. So Carmella's was okay.
Carmella's was. No, her reign was terrible. She had terrible matches with Asuka.
SmackDown 2017.
She had terrible matches with Asuka and then lost it, and then got stuck in the Charlotte Becky feud. What happened?
Well, it did elevate.
She never went there ever again.
No,
didn't
I know.
Elevate it, so failed.
Do
you know what I mean? You know.
Yeah.
So many of these people get these titles for the first ever time.
Ambrose.
Failed.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many. It's a long list of people getting their first title reign and going, no, I think Damian Priest is a decent-ish reign. But I still don't think it elevated him as much as it could have done if he'd have won properly.
Seth's a good one, though.
Seth, I will agree, but thankfully they had the booking and everything with it.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
And you see what... No, it's not devil's advocate. It's a correct answer. My point being is, we're so many people who just got it, nothing. Got it, nothing. Got it, nothing. Got it, nothing. It's ridiculous how many failed with it. You can even throw in Big E. Title reign failed. It's just fed to somebody else. They're just a bit sad.
Yeah,
they're just a little bit. Austin Theory didn't even, he won a United States Championship. Didn't even win his world title.
He didn't win the United States Championship. But I think you make a good point.
Can we have that as a name, by the way? Yeah, Austin Theory not going for the world title. Yeah. Let's throw that in there, shall we, as well?
Stupidness. What I think you're getting on those, Sam, is that the opportunistic thing was meant to be a novelty, a rare thing that only a really, really sadistic heel would do. Because
Edge did it twice.
They sold it that Edge was doing that, but then it just became everyone does it. So what you mean about the prestige of the championship, it has long-term lessened it because
it really has.
These wins.
And you have 2 world titles as well, which already lessens both world titles just by having 2 of them. and then suddenly you've got someone cashing in with 5 minutes. Lowers that prestige, but then even more.
No one looks at it now as this really dastardly heel thing anymore because everyone does it. So everyone just goes, well, that's the done thing. So you've actually lost the really good narrative device of this really sadistic, slimy heel doing it in the most disrespectful way. No one's going to say it like that on commentary anymore because it's how everyone does it.
Yeah, could you imagine that? When a heel cashes in, Michael Cole's like, I can't believe you've done that. Big E does it. Yay!
Well done, Big E.
It makes no sense. But I'll finish on some positives. You got anything else before I finish on positives? Anything else?
I just had unpredictability.
Yeah,
that's really
shock
it.
value.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this out there that, however, without it, we wouldn't have had the one night stand moment, which is what happens when you do it properly. RVD goes, I'm going to take you on in my pay-per-view in front of my crowd, and I'm going to have full advantage but still beat you properly. That is how you do it. And it was because of the Money in the Bank cash-in. And now, don't get me wrong, the match doesn't feel like a cash-in, it feels like a normal championship match. But that's what the cash-in should be like, save for the WrestleMania moment with Seth Rollins. Because it was done so well, and it was the first time someone added themselves to the match correctly, and doing that. Without the cash-in, we can't have either of those moments. Why would RVD get a number one contender shot, and why would it be a one-night stand? It wouldn't be a one-night stand. Why would you have the title at one-night stand, and then Rey Mysterio took some Sabu and ruins the whole concept?
No.
Like, literally, is that they're like, you're doing the cash-in because it's a one-night stand. It's not meant to be.
Yeah, but Ray used to, wrestle for ECW, so maybe he wants to go and wrestle on ECW.
Yeah, but that's the point. There's a point. I bet if you'd have asked Cena, being the babyface, he'd be like, yeah, okay. Are you telling me Cena's going to sit there and go, no?
You have just answered your own question.
This is the problem. This is the problem.
And then
the Mania moments. Even Damian Priest is a great Mania moment because of the cash-in. You can do that moment. And what we're saying in conclusion is we like the cash-in, but we're tired of it. And we're tired of it not because we want it to go away, but because we just want people to be different. You've got two. So you've got to be, complicated with it, because you've got a men's one and a women's one, which means you've got to have two simultaneous storylines going on with the same thing. That's difficult. To book the same thing twice at the same time, and then do it the year after, and then do it the year after is really difficult. I think one a year is better. I think they should swap between the men and the women, and they get there highlighted. It gives you a whole year to think about it. And if you are going to do two, because you want to have men and the women to be equal, because imagine that first time it ever happens, whichever one you don't have is going to be a massive backlash and complain.
Well,
and you're going to have to come out and actually go, no, King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring. Yeah. But book it. Do innovative things. Do something that, even if it's still cashing in on the damn champion, at least it's different. Do it anywhere falls. Do it in the middle of the cage. They run in and they climb over. Literally, how stupid would that be? There's a cage match. They enter the cage and they escape and win the world title.
Yeah.
How great would that be?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Literally, they're both down. They run in, open the door, and open the door again.
Yeah.
Walk out.
That's how you would cash in.
It is. I'm saying there's a problem with the cash-ins, as there are actually way easier cash-ins. Yeah. Ladder match. Why not cash in on a ladder match? Literally cash in, run up the ladder and get it. Again, so many things that you want to do. If you want to do the downed champion thing, do those stuff. If you were Cody versus watching Cody Kevin at the Royal Rumble and they're dead, in fact, actually not just dead, they were miles away. They run off. No, don't get me wrong, there was no briefcase. But if you were sat there with the Money in the Bank, you'd be there going, they're in the crowd. The title's just there.
It's true. It's true, and that would be a great way to get heel here as well.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
If you want to do a heel here, if you want to do the down thing, stop doing babyface doing it, and do something different. I think literally Cage, last man standing.
Yeah, I thought.
They're being counted, and then you just clock them, and then count as you raise the title above. Great.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. So many things you could do if you want to do the whole downed champion thing, but also do the good babyface thing. I want to face you at WrestleMania. I'm going to add myself to this triple threat match. Whatever it is, whatever you want to do. I like the idea that two people are having a match, and then the music hits and they come down and go, I am now in this match. So instead of at the end, at the beginning, that'd be a great babyface thing to do. Especially if you've got a cold feud or not a great feud. You put two people together. That kind of think of the amazing matches that say like last year, like Cody Rhodes had with like AJ Styles or with Solo Sikoa. There's not much going on here. Suddenly you add to the match and suddenly it's like, oh, they did it with Seth and Damian Priest as an example.
Yes.
Drew added himself to that. If he'd have done it at the beginning of the match, which is way more thing that Drew would have done, psychopath.
He was a heel. So.
Yeah, even as a heel, but I'm saying I think the Scottish psychopath is very much of I'm better than you. He wasn't a conniving, take advantage type guy. He was attack you to your front. But Money in the Bank, be better. Just be better. because you should be better. And WWE in particular, come up with something new. I think it's been long enough now for you to sit down and try and come up with a new concept. And I'm not saying it's easy to come up with something new, but I'm saying there are so many wrestling heads that you could come up and throw ideas and go, let's come up with a new match concept or a new style or a new thing. And cash-ins are great, but I think they've either run their course or they need a refresher. Go back to the person being down in like 3 years' time, do literally 6 cash-ins that are all different, even if they're really basic. If they're literally, I will challenge you at SummerSlam, I will challenge you here, and something I'll have to just make them a bit basic for a bit and give us a breather of the cash-in. Okay? Because fans now see a wrestler down and they go, oh, are they going to cash in? That's not how a world title should be. For me.
I agree.
For me. Thank you very much for joining us. Do you have any other yays and nays? What do you think of our yays and nays? We clearly got a bit sick of the cash-ins. We're a bit negative for this one. More nays than yays. Yeah, it's fun. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we will see you on another yay and nay soon. Bye-bye.